Welcome. I'm going to talk about this Virgo eclipse from my personal perspective because this is a very interesting full moon. Virgo. Keywords. Keywords is what I always say. How do you understand what something is? You break it down. You categorize it. You look at the aspects. For example, this full moon is opposition Saturn. So, you need to understand Saturn. You need to understand what an opposition is. You need to understand what is the bigger picture. Why does this happen? Why this? Okay, like we have an event like this eclipse, and you want to ask why this? Why is this happening now? Okay, so here we go. You break down Virgo. Virgo is perfectionism. To perfect an image means to put on a show that they like to see. When we say they, we say whoever or whatever is responsible to get you the material results that you're looking for. Because Virgo is result oriented. So this is being eclipsed. Eclipse is when the moon goes dark. The moon casts a shadow on the earth. The shadow is what you are avoiding, what you're hiding. When the sun opposes the moon, the sun is in the exact position, exact on the degree, looking at the shadow, looking at what has to be removed, what has to be exposed. So when this is exposed, you're going to feel it. You're going to feel it so much that it's a full moon. When the moon is full, you're at the culmination point. You've reached the limit of what this means to you. So when we look at eclipses, we look at the culmination of all the energies that are coming together. And there's going to be a 6-month period in which these energies are going to still play out somehow in your life. But if you don't release, then you're going to have to deal with this for a very long time. I'm not saying forever, because that is irresponsible to say that. I'm just saying it's going to be harder to release if even now that you're being tested, you're still not willing to let that thing go. That is why it's so important to focus on releasing something, removing something, eclipsing it out. Okay? So when you understand this, what does Virgo full moon want? Full moon is what you feel emotionally you have to do. Well, emotionally, you feel like you have to control, you have to clean, you have to avoid mistakes. This is being released. So the less you can resist the releasing of the perfectionism, the easier it's going to be for you. And of course, it's going to bring you some kind of challenge, some kind of a problem. Because Saturn is opposing the moon. Saturn is delays, restriction, slow. So you'll be very slow to release that thing. It's almost like, nah, I can't let this go. I need to hold on. Because Saturn binds you. But you are now being rebound to the sun because Saturn's connection with the sun. The sun is yourself, you. It's not your mind, it's not your feelings, it's not your body, it's not the moon. It's you, your consciousness. So your consciousness is bound to a purpose, a goal that needs to be achieved. And this goal that you have is going to be opposite to what your feelings are telling you to do in Virgo. Around details, around communication. Imagine you have a conversation with somebody. Your feelings tell you, don't talk about this. It's going to trigger them. It's going to trigger you. It's going to make you look bad. It's going to make you look imperfect. It's going to make you look guilty. That's Virgo moon. The eclipse is to stop doing that. Stop doing that so Saturn and the Sun can take over. The issue is, normally during full moons, we do the moon. We do the, let's do it right, let's do it correct, let's do it clean. And we do the, and I need to have some balance with self-control at the same time. But to me, eclipse means eclipse. End this. Stop doing it. And you don't want to stop doing it. You will feel bound so much to the details. Your mind will not let you release. The mind doesn't want to release, but you do. So when you can recognize that you want something and your mind wants the opposite, then you can choose. Are you going to choose what needs to be removed? Like, why would you choose that, right? Or are you going to choose yourself? Which of course you would choose. But if you don't know that you have this choice right now, if you don't know the astrology, then most of the time the mind, the ego, is going to win. Virgo is going to win. Virgo must absolutely not win. Okay, if you want to win. Virgo must lose. And this is why it's so difficult. Because your mind doesn't want to, your ego doesn't want to. What you want? The Saturn. Saturn on the Sun. Saturn slows you down. Saturn is like, hey, don't go too fast. I know you want to take charge. I know you want to do your thing, but don't do it. But Saturn isn't just saying it to the Sun. Saturn is also saying it to the Moon. Saturn is saying to the Moon, I know you're feeling emotional, but stop caring about how you feel. If you allow your emotions to take over, I will make you feel guilty. Doesn't mean that it's wrong to let them take over, but the guilt is going to be there. But actually, in this case, you do need to be Saturn. You need to be detached. You need to let go of things outside of your control. You need to stop playing by the rules of the system. Because the system, which Saturn represents, wants to oppress, suppress, and restrict your movement. This is why it's so difficult. You are tested. There's pressure on you to stop you from being authentic, being real in communication, because this is dealing with Virgo. Your realness, your true self, your Sun, opposes the Virgo, the perfectionism. You are the enemy of Virgo right now. You are. Wherever Virgo is in your life, whatever house you have Virgo in, you are the enemy of that. And you're supposed to. You're supposed to be the enemy. Because the conditioning is holding you back. The conditioning is the past. You are living in the past. Can you embrace the future? But to embrace the future, which is Saturn, you have to embrace the dark. You have to embrace the dark, deep waters of Pisces. And Pisces is when you are at sea and there's sharks all around you. You can't even dip your foot into the water, because as soon as you get into the water, there's fear. So as soon as you yield, as soon as you let go, you surrender, Saturn is like, are you sure? Are you ready for this? Do you know what it means to let go? Do you really understand? Because if you don't, you're not going to last. And this is what Saturn is showing you. Saturn is not wanting you to submit. It's not wanting you to hold back. No. It wants you to examine, to understand what is holding you back, so you can overcome it. That is why you need to take time, because you are responsible for what happens next. If you allow yourself to go with Pisces, to go with the flow, you will face Saturn. You will face fear, intense restriction, intense, oh my god, what's gonna happen? I'm losing control. Yes, Saturn says, yes, you are losing control. See? Are you ready? You thought you were. And to understand this is almost everything. That's all you need to know about the full moon. I can't really finish the video, but no. Of course, I can go on talking about all the other aspects. We can talk about the astrology, but this is it. Okay, if you understand what I just told you, Saturn is waiting for your commitment. It's looking at you right now. Your commitment in the opposite house. Okay, like look at this. If you have, let's say, Virgo in the second house at 24 degrees, the lunar eclipse, and then you will have Sun Saturn sitting in the 8th house. That means your 8th house has to take over. Your 8th house is the future. Second house is the past. House that Sun Saturn will be in is what you have to commit to. Against the past, against the conditioning. This is very interesting because in traditional astrology, Saturn is actually very much opposite to the moon. The moon is caring, the moon is nurturing, the moon is like, yeah, just let my emotions take over and you will be safe. And Saturn is, forget your emotions. It's a trap. It's a trap, you know, like in Star Wars. It's a trap. And then you have to detach, you have to separate yourself from that thing that binds you to the system, to somebody else. What do they want? What does the world want? Saturn shows you. And when he shows you, you have a choice. Will you bind yourself to you? Let's say you have Saturn Sun in the 8th house, then you'll bind yourself to the freedom from others. You will free yourself from the need for security. Okay? If you have Saturn Sun in the, let's say, 11th house, you will free yourself from your personal goods and look towards the future. You will let go of what feels fun and embrace that which helps you to get success in the community or whatever. But it is not that easy. Even if you look at the house, you try to interpret the meaning. For example, let's say you have all of these planets which are in Pisces with a North Node, with the Sun, with Saturn. You already have at least 3 objects. In April, you'll be having 5 or 6 objects in Pisces. So whatever house you have in Pisces there, that's where you have to go. You have to go there. You are going there, whether you want to or not. If you don't want to go there, if you don't want to focus on that house, if your life is not revolving around that house, you will have negative experiences. You will have something negative happen to you that will force you to go there a lot of the time. Now, of course, it's also possible that you get lucky and everything's love and light, everything's fine. But in my experience, it doesn't happen that way. Because when you know astrology, you know that there will be this conflict inside of you. that you don't want to go where you're supposed to go. Because where you're supposed to go in Pisces, Pisces is your growth. Pisces is literally your evolution right now. But we are in Virgo. We are in logic territory. We are in rules, boundaries, making it clean, making it neat, making it right. Having to let that go is like letting go of your ego. But it's just what your ego uses to have stability right now. Right now, your ego uses logic and rational thinking to fix what's in front of you. And that is not working, right? And because it's not working, you feel blocked. Therefore, through the blockage, you will be forced, literally, to go to Pisces. And that's interesting, you know? Because I don't know if anybody else talks about this. I haven't seen any astrologer say anything about this. They don't explain it that way. But why wouldn't you? Because this is how it is. This is just how it works. It's important because we think that we are in control. We think we have some kind of free will and we can choose what's going to happen next. In Pisces, this is revealed to be an illusion. If the planets were in Aries, then you were right. Then yes, you are choosing what you want. What is happening and what you want are in alignment. But in Pisces, it's not. In Pisces, it's like, I want something, but not happening. Unless you change what you want and you become flexible, if you want to listen, to see, to feel, to perceive more, then Pisces will help you to do that. And there will be no resistance. And this is important to understand because Mars, the planet of desire, is sextiling all of this energy with Saturn and the Sun. We have this water harmony. Okay, everything is in water right now, so you are literally like in your feelings. And you'll be in your feelings for a while because again in April this is gonna be even more intense than it is now. So while we have all these eclipses going on, it's just from one cycle into another. It's not going to stop. And the reason why is because you're not done. You're not ready to embrace the new. You're not ready for Pisces. Now, even if you know everything I just told you, you may think you know what to do. You may think you're all right. You're good. But if that's true, then why would it get even more intense? Why would even more energy be in Pisces? And I'm not saying that Pisces is a negative sign. I'm not saying that Pisces necessarily leads to a bad experience. But the whole thing about Pisces is it's the last sign. The sign the furthest away from the self, from Aries. The self. That means anything that you do once the sun goes into Aries, after the equinox, every goal that you have is not going to matter with all this Pisces energy. So even if you are already focused on and committed on doing something, if it's not coming from a place of what you feel like doing, it's not going to work. You have to intellectually understand what to do and feel like doing it at the same time. And of course, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen for anybody, which is why we have this eclipse right now. Of course, but judges, there should be exceptions. I'm special. I have it all figured out. My feelings and my thoughts are aligned. Really? But that's not what the astrology is saying. So it could be, maybe. I don't know. But for me, I'm just thinking about the collective right now. I'm thinking most people, not some special prodigy in a basement somewhere. Okay, so most people are gonna feel like I know what I need to do, but I just don't feel like doing it. This is the Pisces dilemma. This is what makes Pisces difficult because we're still at the beginning of the North Node. Just went into the North Node very recently. What do you expect? That you're going to master Pisces and your feelings are aligned with your thoughts right away? Just like that? Without having to do any kind of inner work or do something? It's just going to be fine for you. Well, maybe if you are already Pisces, you already have a lot of Pisces energy in your chart, maybe it will be easier for you because you're used to it. You're like, yeah, I know, this is the same thing that I always have to deal with, so it's not going to be so difficult for you to align yourself with what you need to do. And you feel like you have energy because you're going with the flow, but most people, if most people right now want to go with the flow, they just feel unsatisfied, frustrated, not really like they're getting anywhere. And this is actually the whole point of this video. So when you understand that this is basically how it works, you just need to look at your life. What is it that you need to eclipse out? What is it you need to get rid of? Stop doing. I mean, literally, stop doing that thing. If you've been doing it for a while, but it frustrates you, you don't like it, you don't feel like it, chances are this is your call to stop doing it. Because if you ignore your emotions and you do what you need to do, thinking, oh yes, I'm a hero for ignoring my emotions, I'm so strong, I'm so stoic, like toxic emotional unavailability. If that's your goal, no wonder all the planets are in Pisces. No wonder we still have another month to go. So even if you are the prestigious prodigy and everything's fine for you, for most people it's not. So you're going to have to face more challenges, more tests to see if you're really serious about going with the flow. Can you really? Saturn says, I don't think so. I don't believe you. You don't even believe you. Now you intellectually think, oh yeah, I can go with the flow, but no. And it's not to judge you, because this is historically unprecedented. I mean, when was the last time we had this much in Pisces? Why suddenly I have to go with the flow when this entire time I had to go against it? And going against it probably worked out for you. In some way it has worked out for you, otherwise you wouldn't even think that resisting the flow is a good idea, obviously. And this is why it's kind of confusing for people. There's a lack of direction. There's a sense of, okay, if I commit to going with what I'm supposed to do, Saturn and the Sun in whatever house you have in your chart, at 24 degrees of Pisces, whatever you have to do in that house, it's going completely against everything that you've been taught. So you're doing something new. And you have to do this new thing knowing unconsciously that it's going to probably be for the rest of your life, at least for the next 10 years, 20 years. Because of Saturn. This is what is all Saturn. This is a Saturn eclipse. Saturn says, no, no, no. It's not just you have a difficult conversation with a neighbor. It's not your regular eclipse where you just talk to somebody, yeah, okay, I get it over with. No. It's a pattern, a very deep pattern, a loop. Saturn represents loops, okay? The infinity symbol. What you commit to now is for good. There's no going back. There's no, I'm getting cold feet now. I didn't know it was that scary. Let me go back to Virgo. Saturn will be like, no, you can't go back. And you're like, but I need to go back. This is too scary. Saturn, what are you doing to me? And you're like, Saturn, you're not giving me the tools. You're not giving me the experience. You're not giving me the knowledge that I need to go through this. Like, wherever you have something in the chart, let's say you have it in the second house, you're not getting me the money, the resources to feel stable. You want me to be stable in the long term, but you're not giving me the money that I need, the opportunities that I need. Or if you have Saturn in the first house, or if you have Saturn in the fourth house, okay, you want my family, my home, my foundation to be stable, but you're not giving me anything that is giving me an experience of stability. So you're supposed to do something without any assistance, any support. Like Saturn says, yeah, you can't swim. Look, you can't swim. And Saturn throws you into the water. Now what you gonna do? Just gonna magically gather the ability to swim out of nowhere, just like that? Like really? No, you're gonna be like, help, get me out of here. And you're gonna get your hands on the, I don't know what, like anything you can grip on just to prevent yourself from going under. That's what you're going to do. That's what everybody's doing. And Saturn says, why are you still holding on to that? And then Saturn's gonna come and remove whatever it is that you're trying to hold on to for security. And then you're like, but there's no security. There's no support. It doesn't work. There's no solution to the problem. There's nothing. Like, what is this Saturn? That is the whole point. That is the whole point. Because you are forced to go inwards with Pisces. To go deep inside, introspect, reflect, take your time to think about all the energetic, long-term consequences of this commitment that you're asked to do. Now you're asking me, what commitment? What are you talking about? It's all about communication. When you talk to somebody, or there's some details like signing a paper, or signing a contract, or like what you eat, what you do for habits, routines, daily. Anything that you do every single day for the rest of your life, Saturn is like, stop doing that. And you're like, but I've been doing this for 10 years, 20 years. And you're like, you're not going to be allowed to do it. So you're left in the boat, no pedals. You're just in the boat without pedals, without anything to move around. Like, you're just, what am I doing here? Like, I can't move. Somebody save me. Somebody save me. Somebody help me. And there's nobody coming to save you. This is like, I don't know. This lunar eclipse is just no comment. No comment. But of course, I also understand not everybody's going to have a hard time. Actually, some of you will have a very easy time. hardly anything will happen. Everything will like love and light. Everything will be fine for you. So even though all of this is happening, what I described, it doesn't mean that you're gonna have difficulties, because chances are, whatever you're having to commit to may not even be that severe. You know, maybe you just have to commit to drinking water and stop drinking soda for the next 20 years. Wow, so difficult, right? Like, I mean, Pisces is liquid, so I'm just thinking about an example. Or maybe you just have to stop looking at something, stop controlling something. But before you were like, but I need to watch it. You know, if you have a plant in your home and you need to water it every day, and now Saturn says, stop watering that plant, just get the plant out of here. And you're like, but I don't want to get rid of the plant. And Saturn is like, get rid of the plant. And you're not even getting an explanation to why you need to get rid of the plant, but you still need to do it. So you could say you're going to have some kind of resistance, some kind of negative events, but are you going to force you to get rid of something, to end it. And this is Pisces. It wants to end something permanently. Permanently. Okay, I just stopped drinking soda. Big deal, right? But if it's not about soda, what if it's about a relationship? What if it's about a career? What if you have a Saturn Sun in the 10th house in Pisces? Oh, you have to get rid of this job and never do this job again. And you're like, but in the future I might do it again. Saturn's like, no. And then you try to do it again and you don't get hired. You're like, why am I not getting hired? I've been doing 10 letters, 20 letters, 30 letters. I've been sending all the letters to get hired, to get paid, and I'm not getting hired. I'm not getting paid. Why is it not working? And Saturn's like, because even though I will not tell you why it's not working, I want to see your frustration. I want to see that you're getting so frustrated you will never try it ever again. You will never try it ever again. That's the point. Yes. So you're like, but why don't you just tell me? if you just told me to quit this job, it would be easier. But instead, you're just going to frustrate. You're just going to frustrate and frustrate and frustrate some more until I can't take it anymore. Wow. Like, why can't things just be simple for once? But this is just how it is, you know? Just reality. Some people can go basketball, can be an athlete. Other people cannot. Maybe they have knee problems, so they can't be athlete. Maybe they are 5'8", so they're never gonna be a master in basketball. Saturn will show you that. Okay, I know you want this job, but it's not for you. I know you want to be with this person, but they're not for you. I know you want to talk like this, you want to do your business like this, but you can't do it. It's not for you. I know you want to eat this or drink this, but it's not for you. I'm going to literally make you like you can't take it anymore. You're like, I can't eat this anymore. I can't drink this anymore. I can't assimilate. I can't process. Pisces is the process of the emotions. I can't process this emotionally. It's just too much. So you're getting overwhelmed. And what do people do when they get overwhelmed? Hermit mode. Virgo. They go into isolation. They hide from the problem. They refuse to commit to what Saturn is literally screaming in their face. Do it! Quit! And you're like, no, I'm just going to go hermit mode for a while until I feel better, and then I will go back to the job. Yeah, this is astrology in real time. This is actually how it works with people. So the sooner you can recognize that you're doing this, that Saturn's telling you, quit. And you're like, no, I'm just gonna wait to have it now, leave me alone. Don't fall for it. It's a trap, it's a trick. Is you are procrastinating. You are delaying the inevitable. Stop doing it. Not Saturn. Saturn isn't delaying anything. Saturn, you think Saturn is restricting you? You think there's some boogeyman out there trying to throw a monkey wrench into your plans? Not even close. You are delaying you. You are restricting you. And Saturn is just showing you the restriction. Saturn is just making you aware, hey, maybe that job or that person isn't for you, and you're like, but I need it. Saturn, please, daddy, pay me. And then it's like, no. Okay, if you want me to pay you, you need me to push you around. That means you need to submit to my rules. Are you ready for that? Because those rules that you're submitting to is the reason why you're overwhelmed emotionally. Is the reason why you want to escape. Is the reason why you're trying to isolate yourself. So stop doing it. The Virgo perfectionism, the masking, the avoiding, the escaping. Yes, Virgo is doing all of these things that people think Pisces is doing. You think Pisces is the manipulator of the zodiac? Oh no. It's Virgo. Because Virgo needs to cover its tracks. Virgo needs to cover its mistakes. Because Virgo is defined by perfection. If you define perfection, you define something that doesn't exist. Like, really? Virgo doesn't exist. The function exists, the need to be perfect, yes, but the result does not. And yet that is what we're trying to achieve. So we're trying to achieve an illusion, trying to achieve something that was never natural to begin with, never supposed to happen. But you force it to happen because you want to be free from Pisces, from the loss, from the ending that is inevitably coming for you. Right? Saturn, decay, deterioration, loss, it's coming for you. And you're like, no, 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 Saturn, I'm getting into hermit mode, I'm getting out of here. So then you're delaying the inevitable. And then the collective has to deal with more Pisces transits. More Pisces, yes, in April. I mean, that's kind of how I look at it. Of course, you can get me wrong, but it's just basic logic, really. Why is the astrology like this? Because that's what people are doing. Burying their head in the sand, hoping, oh, this too shall pass. No, 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 I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. I just have to survive. I just have to endure and be a little good noodle and be a stoic and be an avoidant and maybe hope that my religion, my savior, my whoever, somebody is going to save me. Somebody's going to reward me if I just keep going and just do the work. Yes, the astrologers online told me Saturn means doing the work. Yes, yes, I'm doing the work. I'm being a good busy bee. I'm being a bog drone. That's what I'm supposed to do. This is literally what you see out there. You go online and you Google what's Saturn. Okay, George told me it's a Saturn eclipse. So if I understand Saturn, I know what to do. And then you Google, what does Saturn mean? Discipline, doing the work, having the structure, maintaining the boundaries. And I'm like, really? But isn't it exactly what you've been doing this whole time? Haven't you already had enough structure? Haven't you had enough rules to tell you what to do? But somehow, oh no, you need more rules, yes. You need more rigidity. You need to be more strict. Yes, that's what Saturn wants. Yeah. Sacrifice yourself. Really? Really? Are you sure? I don't think so. But you go online and 5 videos, 10 videos, 20 videos, 30 videos. Everybody's telling you Saturn wants you to be a bog drone. Look it up. What is a bog drone? A bog drone is somebody who is a computer controlled machine doing mechanical things over and over. In some way, this is true. Saturn is mechanical. It does something over and over, yes. But it better be the right thing. Because what are you doing over and over? Are you doing the right thing over and over? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think what, not you personally, but most people are doing is to go to jobs they hate, be in relationships that are not for them, deal with people, engage in behaviors, coping mechanisms, survival patterns that they're not supposed to be in. And then the astrologer says, yes, yes, keep going. Yes, Saturn likes repetition. Yes, keep going to the job that you hate. What? No, you're supposed to break free from the loop and get into another loop. Because trust me, there's going to be another loop waiting for you with Saturn. And the loop is a good one. The loop is to over and over again do the right thing. I mean, come on. If you are triggered, if something bad happens to you, some negative consequence, right? Saturn, oh no, we need to avoid the negative consequence. Ah yes, the astrologer told me the negative consequence is happening because I'm doing something wrong. I'm not pleasing Saturn, so I have to do something right. Do you even know what's right? Do you know what's wrong? Oh, yes, I know what's right and wrong because if I do this, I get negative consequences, so it must be wrong. Mm-hmm. Yes. They told me that they don't like me when I do this. That's a negative consequence, so I must be wrong. They stop paying me. They start blocking me. They start restricting me, so I must be doing something wrong. Mm-hmm. This is a problem. This is a really big problem. Nobody talks about this. Nobody talks about the fact that if you go online and you look up Saturn, what does it mean? You're getting completely tricked. You're tricked. It's an illusion. It's wrong. They want you to keep doing the loop and worship it. Saturn is devotion. Devotion to the control system. Devotion to the fear that controls you. To give yourself, to sacrifice yourself for the greater good, which is not you. So therefore, what are you doing? You're supposed to sacrifice external things, material things. Saturn is not about rewarding you with material success. It's about showing you the failure that is going to happen when you do the right thing. Okay? Let me repeat this. Saturn does not show you the material success. This is wrong information, yes. Saturn shows you what happens when you succeed, seeing, witnessing right in front of you, but it's something negative, something you don't like. You witness something you don't like as a result of doing the right thing. That's what Saturn is supposed to show you. Saturn is supposed to show you the reality of being restricted. That means your soul is not in charge. You're not in control here. You are only in control of yourself. Only in control of the four walls in which you are restricted, which is your physical body, your shell. So if you try to control external events, material outcomes, by creating a new shell, stepping into a new ego, getting into a new loop, or an old loop, if you use the loop to gain material gains, It's just showing you. That's what you're doing. You are lying, you're manipulating, you're hiding, you're escaping, you're running away from your problems, avoiding responsibility. Be a stoic, be an avoidant, suppress your feelings. It's showing you. It's not trying to teach you anything. What do you mean? Saturn is teaching me. It's waiting to see what you're going to do. It's waiting to see. Now that you know you are wrong, ethically, morally, you are injustice. What are you going to do? Are you going to do what's right? Because if you do, I will restrict you. Not me, no. Not Saturn, but the world. And I will show you. Will you last? Will you endure? Will you bind to my will? Will you devote yourself to the task and ignore the outside? You can see the outside. You can see you're under attack. The control system is trying to get you. People are rejecting you. The material realm is abandoning you. It's restricting you. You can see it. And yet, you do not give in. You keep on the task. You do your work. And you do not get paid. No. No, no, no. We need to get out of this whole idea of using astrology to gain material gains. This is not astrology. This is not how you do it. No, 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 no. You do the right thing despite the fact that you don't get paid. Who does Saturn rule? Who does Saturn rule? The poor, the coal miner, the construction worker, the builder, the steel in your house, the architecture that supports your home. You don't get rich through lead. You don't get rich for doing construction. Don't get rich through working in the mines. To get your hands dirty, to do what is necessary to be here, to do what's right, what's good, doesn't get you rewards. But again, you go online, and as well I just tell you, how do you get well for Saturn? Yes, just be very hardworking. Just restrict yourself, bind yourself. Restrict yourself to what? Yes, to what reality wants you to do. Saturn shows you that if you're honest, if you're authentic, if you're real, they're going to exile you. They're going to come after you. So don't be real and don't be authentic. Submit to the rules. Yes. Then you will be rewarded. That is what I'm reading. Yeah? You think I'm tripping? I don't think so. I go online. I go 5 seconds. I Google this. And this is the first thing I read. The first thing, I'm not tripping. Not imagining things. I go into Saturn research and it's all I can see. It's all I can find. Hide yourself. Block yourself. Hide your light. Submit. And then you will be rewarded. This is some kind of, the control system through astrology infiltrated. This is all I can see. This is what I know. And I don't know anybody else talking about this. I've never heard of this. I've been researching this for a very long time. I've been spending the last 3 months trying to find as much information about Saturn as possible. And I found out everybody's just talking the same script, parroting each other, copying what is not true. So, what is true? Saturn wants to see what you're going to do, knowing reality, facing reality, not to try to control it. No, no, no. That's like saying, okay, if I don't like something, just go with it. No, what? No, if you don't like something, why are you doing it? Like, oh yeah, Saturn tells me I should do something I don't like to do. What? It tells you this is what you are avoiding. This is what you're running away from. Do you know what you're running from? Running from yourself. You're not running from not controlling enough the outside. This is what they are saying online. I had enough of it. Really. So when I do content on Saturn, I'm going to be talking about this. This is not going to be the last video on the subject you heard of me. I'm going to talk a lot about Saturn going forward, so people can really understand what it's about. Saturn is the temple, the church, the mausoleum, the sanctuary, the retreat. It's where you find truth, you find justice, you find reality. Reality does not bend to anybody. You bend to reality, or reality will force you. And reality is not the material consequences. The material is just manifested from the twist, from the betrayal of reality. What you see around you is not based on truth, right? You live in a world that belongs to the devil. It is run by evil. So it is not run by Saturn. They are using Saturn to prevent Saturn from doing what it's supposed to be doing. By misinforming you, by giving you distractions, by giving you religion, by giving you false belief systems, they have misled you to fall for the false Saturn matrix. They have artificially created their own reality. You are in an artificial reality right now, as you're watching this video. This is artificial, obviously. Because, how do you know it's artificial? Because you're getting rewarded for doing the wrong thing. That's how you know it's artificial. If somebody likes you because you're emotionally unavailable, which would be an avoidant, that's called an artificial reality. Why would life, I mean, really think about this. Why would reality reward you for being a ghoster, being an avoidant? But if your reality doesn't reward you, how come you're an avoidant then? Why do you think an avoidant is avoidant? Why do you think a narcissist is a narcissist? Because it's working, obviously. It's working, okay? Oh, but karma, where is karma? Isn't karma coming for them? Karma is coming. But not the way you think it is. Not on the outside. On the outside, they're doing just fine. They're getting the material rewards, they're getting the relationships, they're getting to control you and other people. They're happy in a material sense. Does it mean Saturn is rewarding them? Heck no. But again, if you go online, they tell you Saturn material rewards. No. Narcissism and avoidance are the least Saturnian people on this planet. Okay? Repeat. Narcissism and avoidance are anti-Saturn. They're the enemy of Saturn. Saturn is looking at avoidance like, you're avoiding your emotions. Ugh. And then you go online and they say, yeah, but Saturn, you just do the work. You just be a stoic. You just sacrifice your feelings. Everything's going to be fine. You're going to be saved. And why do you believe it? Because the avoidance love you. The avoidance, the narcissists reward you. They pay you good money if you are ignoring your true self, if you are dismissing, if you are running away from the spark, the fire inside of you is guiding the way. And they say, oh yes, Saturn is trying to it wants to suppress your fire so you get rewarded. Yes, of course, yeah. Saturn shows you when you go to the job and you tell your boss, you know what? I think we're getting kind of underpaid here. I think you should pay us more because we're doing all the hard work. We're doing extra hours. We are doing a perfect job. It's really hard work. Why are we getting paid so little? And the first thing that happens, boss threatens you. Oh, if you don't like it, you can quit. Bring the problem to me again and I will fire you. And then you go online and they say, oh yeah, that means you should just stay in the job. Saturn is the work alliance. Saturn is the rebel, Aquarius. Saturn is the activist. Saturn says, I don't care if I'm not getting paid. I don't care if you fire me. You are doing something wrong. And I'm going to tell you that if you keep doing this, there will be consequences. And if you give me consequences, I don't care. Because I am with the light. I am devoted. I am in the loop of what's right. I'm in the loop of justice. While you are in the loop of injustice. And guess who has more money in this world? And that's what Saturn shows you. Saturn shows you those who have the most money, the most success, are those who are in the loop of injustice. So when you see that, you can see it right in front of you. Injustice is winning. And you're like, being just sucks. Being right sucks. They gaslight you. They invalidate you. They manipulate you. The smear campaign starts. They expose you. They gossip behind your back. They fire you from your job. It's a complete mess. To be on the side of truth is lonely, isolating, hard work. That's Saturn. See it now? Understand it now? Making sense now? Yeah? Do others already say that? No, they do not. They lie to you. They manipulate you to think it's the opposite. Period. So I'm gonna check comments now. What do we say here? It's true, nobody talks about it. Yeah. I've never heard a single person. I've been researching for 3 months, okay? I've been spending hours. Old books, ancient scriptures, hour-long videos, presentations. Nothing. Haven't found this information that I just told you anywhere. I only found, okay, Saturn is poor people. Okay, Saturn is people who don't have any material success. I actually did find that information in some old scriptures. Very, very old, like thousands of years old. As you can see, even that is not being repeated and talked about anymore. Because now you go to astrologers, they tell you Saturn is material success in your career. It looks at your career. It looks at your success, but it is not the success. It's what's in the way. It's what restricts your success. It's the reality that you face. Oh my God. If I want to be successful, that part, who I am, what I want, my dharma, my destiny, going out the window. But no, everybody wants to be in love and light. They don't tell you that your true self is the source of suffering, of pain, of fear. They don't want you to look at that. They don't want you to look at reality. They don't like Saturn. Saturn, oh, Saturn's malefic. Really? Malefic? Saturn shows you what is malefic. But showing you is not a malefic thing. It's like saying, oh, the messenger who tells me the truth is a malefic person. No. It's like you go to a priest, an actual priest, like not a religion, you know, like like you go to an astrologer, you go to a guru, you go to a mentor, and the mentor tells you what you're doing is wrong. Here's what you can do, what's right. Are you going to say that's a malefic person? Like what? Of course I understand why Saturn is a malefic, because it shows you where malefic things happen. You know, like if you have Saturn in the 4th house, you're going to have negative experience around communication. You're going to feel like if you want to talk, you will lose. If you want to say the truth, you will lose. That's what Saturn is showing you. That's all. If you have Saturn in the 1st house, if you want to be yourself, express yourself, dress how you want to be, act like you want to be, you will lose. That's what it's showing you. Why would you blame Saturn? Like, really? It's like if I go to a party where only women are invited, but I'm a man, am I gonna say, oh, why don't you invite me? No, I'm gonna say, oh, I don't belong here. I guess I should be here. But it doesn't mean that you can't have a party. It's just that the party that you're joining is not supporting you. Okay? Saturn course corrects you, redirects you, so you can see, oops, I guess the conditions haven't been ideal for you. Whatever Saturn placement you are born with shows you where you experience restrictions. Doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. It means the environment doesn't like who you are in that area, that particular one. If you have Saturn conjunction with the Sun, they literally don't like who you are. They don't like your identity. Don't like how you look, don't like how you dress, don't like how you talk, don't like how you behave. And they show you. So then you think, oh, maybe I shouldn't be myself. And this is why you often see Sun-Saturn conjunction people being very group-oriented. They try to think like everybody else. They are very much in the group mind. And Saturn is watching and being like, you allowed reality to control you. Reality means other people. The objects in reality. Not reality itself, of course, because you're in an artificial reality. Remember, you are in the wrong place. You are going to a party that you haven't been invited to. So why are you complaining that you're doing something wrong? Go to the party. Have fun. Just don't expect the people to support you. So when you can be okay with that, yeah, there will be no support, there will be no acceptance, there will be no love for me, then you're an adult. Because it means you don't let your emotions, the moon, this the hive mind, control you. And yet, what we see with people, wherever you have Saturn, is where you let emotions control you again and again and again in the wrong loop, teaching the wrong lesson. Okay, so restriction, Saturn, no. Restriction only shows you that is wrong for you. It's interesting because, again, I never heard of this before. So I'm flabbergasted myself, you know, when I realized this. I'm like, whoa. Why couldn't you just tell me this? Would have saved so much trouble. You know how helpful it is if somebody comes for a reading and you tell them the correct information, the right information. Imagine how much better their life would be. But if you tell them to control yourself, to restrict yourself, to submit yourself, which we have already been doing, which has already been making them miserable, and you tell them, oh yeah, Saturn's a lot of misery, you have to be miserable, and that's how you get success, just be more miserable, and they're gonna follow that advice. Bad karma. Bad karma. And I'm telling you, all the people who made these videos, articles, wrote these texts, giving the wrong lesson, will experience some kind of a karma for that. This is why it's very difficult to be an astrologer. It's a very critical task. Even if the information is uncomfortable, at least if it's correct, good. And that's all you should be concerned with. You shouldn't care if the person pays you for the information. If you care more about the pay than about the truth, you are stuck in an artificial matrix. It doesn't matter how much money you're making. That's what Saturn is trying to show you. It doesn't matter how happy you think you are, how much control you have, how much status you have, how people think about you, how much they like you. These things are dead things. They're rotten. It's a rotting corpse. You're worshipping a corpse, the dead. And when you realize that, you're like, you're on your knees, you're begging Saturn to show you what to do. You're begging Saturn to stop rewarding you for doing the wrong thing. Because what gets you addicted, what gets you hooked, is the perpetual rewards for being a servant, an enabler of evil. And this is why Saturn is depicted as the devil in the tarot. Because Saturn shows you are rewarded for doing bad things. And if you don't understand this, you don't understand Saturn. So you're living in a fantasy world. Now, the good thing is, when you connect to your spark, you step into your authority. You step into Saturn. Discipline, restriction, strength means to discipline the mind, the monkey mind. It's constantly trying to look for the rewards, constantly trying to look for the dopamine. Where do I get more validation? Where do I get more financial success? Stop focusing on that. Focus on you. And then you get the reward that is satisfaction, appreciation. You feel connected. You are with God, with Saturn. You are in the temple. And that is why most people are so miserable. There's many millionaires, billionaires, who are completely miserable, who hate their life. Oh yeah, but Saturn rewarded them success. No. The reason why they hate their life is because they refused to listen to Saturn. Saturn shows you through apathy. You no longer feel satisfaction in the money that you make. You're like, yeah, I make money by not being myself. Because you're not being yourself. Because you are allowing them to restrict you. There's no meaning. It's empty. Because you know unconsciously you have been defeated. There's no victory in that success. So you look around. Look at society. We are in the false Saturn realm. False Saturn. That's all you need to know, really. That is what people are doing. They go to the grocery store to buy toxic foods, foods that are inhibiting their longevity, that are giving temporary dopamine spikes, temporary pleasure, to which they are hooked into a false matrix. The body doesn't want temporary pleasure, not really. Who wants temporary pleasure is the artificial matrix. It's an artificial overlay. Do you really think that nature would design the body to want things that harm it? Like what? No. Do you really think nature would design the body to create societies, cities, in which people live, isolated from each other, going to jobs that they hate? Why would nature do this? If Saturn is really karma, and if this realm is ruled by karma, where is the karma? I can't see it. I don't see it. I see evil winning every single day. You go out on the street, evil wins everywhere, everywhere. So, what restriction has Saturn made for these people to prevent them from controlling you? Nothing. Nothing. Tumbleweeds. So you see the emptiness in the people. There is no authority, there's no presence online. There's just nothing there. It's just like you're talking to a computer. Yes, Saturn is the computer in the matrix, right? Because a black box. So it's mechanical. The automated responses is because the person has an unconscious commitment. An unconscious contract has been signed with the devil, aka the matrix, to ignore your own intuition, your own feelings, your own spark, which allows the mind to take over. This is what you see. This is why people act robotically and predictably. Because whenever their feeling says, maybe you shouldn't say that, maybe it doesn't resonate with you to react in this manner, they just ignore it. And when you ignore it again and again and again, what your body is telling you, eventually, the mind becomes so strong, it overrides the heart. So the heart is no longer in charge. Saturn actually, they say it rules the bones. But how does this even relate to the mind or the heart? Because the bones is what lasts the longest. So whatever lasts the longest, whatever is the safest to do, what gives you strength, gives you structure, Saturn. But there is a false structure that most people are following. So where is Saturn? I don't see Saturn. I don't see Saturn at all. I don't see bones. I don't see a spine. I see spinelessness. I see yielding. I see submitting to the rules, to the expectations, to what people tell them to do. So when somebody goes online and they say, oh, Saturn matrix, it's not real Saturn matrix. It's the false and it's like a shadow. Whatever shadow you have for a planet is the exact opposite of what the planet represents. Because the planet is in shadow. The planet is not in the light. The planet is not here. Light is physical matter. Light is what you see with your eyes. So the shadow is what you don't see. So therefore Saturn is not Saturn, inverted Saturn. If you see, this is also very interesting by the way, the moon rules the emotions. The shadow of the moon is to allow emotions to control you. If you look at Cancer, the opposite of Capricorn, the opposite of Saturn, Cancer has the best emotional control out of all of the signs. They're able to control the emotions the best. Okay. But if it's in the shadow, they're going to be crybabies. Okay, they're going to have emotional responses that don't lead anywhere. That don't give a positive result. That don't make any sense. That are disproportionate, irrational. Emotions are not supposed to be irrational. Yeah, but we have this matrix thinking. Emotions rational, logic rational. No. It's the other way around. Logic is often irrational. Emotions are often rational in the original blueprint, because the logic is an artificial construction that we created to explain what we cannot feel. If you felt what Saturn is, you wouldn't need me to explain it to you. If I show you a symbol of Saturn and you look at the black cube, but because I tell you, imagine I'm misinforming you. The black cube is a trap, then you're going to associate the black box with a trap. You're going to associate Saturn with a trap. That means you're going to be afraid of Saturn. If I want you to be in your shadow Saturn, to have no spine, to let me control you, I just tell you, convince you unconsciously that Saturn is bad for you. That's all I have to do. If I want to control you, I just tell you that Saturn is bad, you believe it, win. See how it works? See why it is like that? Another example. How do you know Saturn is bad? How do you think that? Why? It's very simple. Saturn is your resistance. Saturn is your strength. But real strength means to resist the temptation of the devil. Not to submit to it, not to conform to it, not to obey the rules. So if I tell you that the healthy Saturn is about obeying rules, if I tell you that the healthy Saturn is about being in a box or being locked and restricted, oh my God, you're trapped, you're tricked. You have no escape. If you try to look for astrology to help you, and every single astrologer tells you that Saturn wants you to be restricted, you're lost. You're done. You're in the matrix, lost forever. It's over. See how that works? See how even astrologers are working with a control system. So don't think, oh yeah, astrology, that means you're out of the matrix, right? No. Very much in the matrix, most of them. This is really a problem. I see. This is serious. This is real shit, yeah. This is really also moon, they say is nurturing. Oh my god, I should make a separate video on this. They say moon is nurturing. Okay, but did you know that the moon person, somebody with moon dominant traits, is the most selfish person you can think of? Moon is selfishness. Moon is me, my ego, my emotions, my body. What feels good to me, what I like. It is not about service. It's not about giving to somebody else. The reason why Cancer is so nurturing is because they like it. It feels good to them. They don't see it as, oh, I give myself for you. It's not codependency. The moon is a very independent person because the moon represents a woman. A woman is not supposed to give in to a man. Actually, in the old scriptures, the man serves the woman because the woman has the mind. Okay, the man has not the mind. The man has his own spiritual reasons for what he's doing. The moon, which is the mother, brings you down to earth, helps you to protect the home, to protect the family. The father, which is the man, is like, I don't care about the family. I'm out of here. Why should I care about you? I care about me. But because the moon person is so deeply connected to their own needs, their own wants, they actually believe, the Cancer person believes, that I need to tell the man what to do. I need to tell the man, I need to convince the man, to talk to him until his ears bleed. I need to persuade him that I'm right. And he needs to listen to me. And what does the man do? Not listen. Run away, avoid. I need space. You're too much for me right now. You want too much. Because it's true. The moon wants its needs satisfied. If you can't do that, you're not going to get the moon. If you want a real woman, that means they're going to force you to submit to their system of how to do the family, how to run the family, how to run the village, how to control the city, the food, the body, the emotions. The lunar principle takes over. It's feminine royalty. Cancer controls the household, not the man. No. The lord of the household. No, the lady of the household. So we have this inverted matrix in which the man is in control. Why would the man be in control? Do you know what happens if you put the man in control? It's chaos. Chaos. Because he doesn't care about his emotional, deeper sense of security. The man doesn't care about security. Man is going to take risks. Man is going to do dirty things. Man is going to do dangerous stuff to protect the family. But he's not going to be security driven. It's not going to be comfort driven. It's not going to be pleasure driven. The woman is. So the woman gives you all the good things, the things that make life sustainable and bearable. The man is only protecting you against the threats to that thing. But the foundation is the mother. That's why we come out of the mother. That's why the mother is more important to the children. Because you're physically bonded to her. You make the first bond with the mother. The mother is the first. Women mingle together. Women make friends with each other. Men are competing with each other. Men hate each other. So the woman connects you. The woman binds you. Binding is a rule. So the woman makes rules, not the man. The man enforces the rules. Okay, the man makes sure the rules are followed. This is why Leo, morals, ethics, do what's right. Sagittarius, morals, ethics, do what's right. Literally, the most masculine signs are just about doing what's right, to enforce it by action, but not to create the rules themselves, because the rules come from nature. They come from the body, from the depths. From the depths. The rules don't come from here. The rules don't come from trying to intellectually figure out what's right. Are you kidding? You emotionally understand what you need, what nurtures you, what feeds you, what sustains you, what makes you appreciate life. So this is kind of how I see it. But we've been drifting into another subject. So in any case, I hope you found this video useful. I'm going to make some other videos about this other subjects as well that I talked about earlier. I'm going to talk about, in my next video, how every planet in this world will show up as its inversion, its opposite, in people. 90% of the time, maybe 80% if I don't have to be too dramatic. But most of the time, people will be in the opposite of what the planet actually represents. And this will, you will see then the consequence of it in society. I'm going to explain what that means. So if you're interested in that, leave a like, put me on favorites so you can see me again when I go live, when I put my video up. And if you'd like to get a personal reading with me, don't hesitate to send me a message in Messenger. You know where to find me. And with that being said, thanks so much for watching this video, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.